Fall Guys is a survival horror game developed by Mediatonic and published by Devolver Digital. The game takes place in Purgatory, where the player plays as a lost soul in search for the keys to salvation, but in the process the game will challenge the player with morally grey decisions of survival, and push the player to the darkest fringes of their psyche. You among 59 other lost souls are forced to partake in a labyrinth of pain and suffering for the amusement of the dark gods, and those who fail are rewarded to spend eternity in hell. As of writing, the game currently has 20 twisted and grotesque levels that will challenge the player both physically as well as mentally, ranging from having to witness your friends and family get brutally crushed by unnaturally large fruit, or being forced to barbarically remove appendages from other players, all while having to hear their muffled screams of pain. As per tradition of the current gaming climate, Fall Guys comes with an in-game shop and battle pass, but all items currently available are purely cosmetic, allowing the player to fulfill their narcissistic fantasies. And if that wasn't bad enough, the game allows the players to turn themselves into furries, and in my opinion, is more offensive than hot coffee and no Russia combined. The gameplay of Fall Guys is relatively simple, so simple in fact it only has 4 buttons. Move forward with the analog stick, or W key on the keyboard if you're into BDSM, because like seriously, who the fuck plays this with the mouse and keyboard? Anyways, I digest, and you can also jump, and to add complexity to this already revolutionary game mechanic, you can dive, bringing the skill ceiling from a Stadia user to a Nintendo user, and arguably the most important mechanic, grabbing. And by grabbing, I mean grabbing onto your favourite Twitch streamer, desperately clinging onto them for the attention your mother never gave you. But I wouldn't know either. At launch, the game suffered from server issues because so many sinners were trying to play, which was unintentionally DDoSing the servers. These issues persisted for a few days, but fortunately, or unfortunately depending on how you look at it, these issues were resolved. On a more serious note, server issues aside, I am concerned about the lack of complexity and longevity of the game. Unlike other indie multiplayer competitive games, for example Rocket League, Fall Guys just doesn't have the same level of learning curve, which in and of itself isn't inherently bad, as it's a great way for people who aren't competitive gamers or gamers in general to get into your game. But these gamers are traditionally not the type of gamers who will solely play your game for years on end, but I very well could be wrong, as there are always outliers. I mean, there are people who think Last of Us 2 is a good game for crying out loud. Fall Guys also features a cute, vibrant art style, which lulls the player into a full sense of security, making you subconsciously lowering your guard, so the horrific events that will occur will be that much more traumatizing. Fall Guys is a family-friendly game that is both wholesome and horrifying, casual but competitive. The game in and of itself isn't groundbreaking, but Mediatonic Games have provided a niche game that, well, isn't evidently so niche, as it hit 120,000 concurrent users across both PlayStation 4 and Steam on its first day, making it Devolver Digital's biggest launch yet. The game is just dumb fun, which is a nice change to the oversaturated, dull Series BR games that we're subjected to every other day. As mentioned previously, the lack of complexity and longevity does give me pause for concern. The game only costs $50.99 here in the UK, and honestly, what little I've put into it, I've had more fun with Fall Guys than some AAA full-priced games.